Luke, what do we have here today?
We have a product called the Frontier X from Fourth Frontier. This is a health and wellness device. It will monitor your breathing and your heart rate. It's designed for athletes and people that want to focus on breathing mostly. That want to make sure that, because that's a big component of exercise and doing it correctly is breathing. And this device will monitor that in real time and give you that feedback to your phone.
Yes. And it will also give you the ability to broadcast if you want to share that with somebody. So if you've got a team of people who are helping, maybe monitor you while you're working out or conditioning, training for something, you can see in real time how they're doing.
Yeah.
So somebody can watch and say, hey, this guy's, struggling. He keeps going. His heart rate keeps getting elevated, or he's not getting in the zone that he needs to. We need to get him elevated. That's exactly what this will allow you to do.
Right.
So this is something that you wear around your chest.
Yep.
And you wear that under your shirt directly on your skin.
This is the device here. So it's very small. It's got one button on it and a little LED light. I don't know if you'll pick that up in the camera. You can see it a little bit on to let you indicate when it's on and stuff like that. The strap, it has two different straps, a black one and a red one, depending on what you want. And on the back side is this kind of plastic material. Probably helps conduct the sensors a little better. And then it snaps in just like you would like a button snap on a jacket or pants or shirt or whatever. Just snaps on real easy, and it's on. That's it.
And once that's on, you can basically go into the app and do some settings such as I want this to alert me once I'm above a certain heart rate, and also notify me when I'm below a certain rate. So if I'm trying to stay in the zone, it'll kind of vibrate every 20 seconds just to kind of let you know where you are. And you can set that up for heart rate. You can also do that for breathing as well. And then there's also cardiac conditioning. So it'll say to keep an eye out for any type of strain. So in limited doses, cardiac strain followed by recovery protects the heart, as demonstrated. So you can have things kind of nudge you. It's kind of like having somebody that says, hey, let's push it a little harder here. Let's get this going. And everything's presented in a nice, easy to digest chart. The information. Actually, I was looking on their website here. It provides continuous ECG. Spot checks, cardiac rhythm, cardiac strain, the real-time vibration we talked about. And then these are all things that are not available in wearables or heart rate monitors.
So, the first thing, I guess, that somebody who is not familiar with a device like this would go, why do I need that if I have, my watch can tell my heart rate?
So they're not going to give you cardiac strain. They're not going to be able to broadcast that and share that. It's not going to give you necessarily the nudges. Some of that is passive monitoring, and that depends on the watch, of course, to get these nudges. But a continuous ECG, I think for the big one is the ability to kind of share that with people. So whether
it's your doctor or a trainer, or even you probably could share it with friends. If you were competing with each other, something like that. It's that extra layer of insight. The biggest component is the continuous monitoring. So you can actually see, like you mentioned, in the patterns or over time how things get better or worse. That's what these are designed to do, is really to help when you're training, when you're trying to train your breathing, train your train yourself.
Yeah, and it's not just the for running. It could be for anything. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the gym, if you're playing basketball, if you're doing anything with people that you're just kind of like you want to keep an eye on things and make sure that you're not getting too worked up. Mm-hmm. Just like looking at it and monitoring to make sure that you're kind of getting into a zone is to also make sure you don't go beyond a certain spot as well.
Yeah, for a monitor, you think of people that have a need to keep their heart rate under a certain amount. Mm-hmm. Something like this would be very helpful because it gives you those, alerts that you can customize. So, say you have to be under 120, mm-hmm. you can set it at 110. It tells me, so I know to slow down or something like that.
Another feature that I like the idea of is keeping an eye on the breathing, mm-hmm. where it's not just like the heart rate, but the actual breathing and how many breaths per minute that you're doing. Because, as somebody who's, starting to do like CrossFit, mm-hmm. and I know that sometimes the exercises and the things that you're doing will completely wind you.
Yep.
And feel like I don't necessarily feel like my heart's going to beat out of my chest.
Right.
But at that same time, I realize I really need to get my breathing under control.
Sure. Before
I go on and do the next thing, sure. Or I'm working too hard as I go through this. I'm going to burn myself out. Just to kind of keep an eye on those things. That data is very valuable. Mm-hmm. If you can look at it and go, oh man, this 4-minute section here towards the end, you went, way too hard on yourself, mm-hmm. And that's something to kind of, knowledge is power. And I think for a lot of people, if they can see that information, visualize it, it's going to be valuable to work with.
Yeah. This has a micro USB charging, mm-hmm. so it comes with the cable and just plugs in real easy.
Do we know anything about the battery life on this? I've looked through it and I don't
remember seeing that information here. Mm-hmm. But it's made for use while you're training, so I would imagine a charge is going to get you a couple hours, I would hope.
Oh, I know that it does do, when we were looking at the ability to share, mm-hmm. It said something about 24-hour sharing. Live stream and record your ECG for up to 24 hours.
Okay. And
share your data. So I wonder if it's on the actual purchase page here. It doesn't necessarily say. So this is something that I'm interested in trying mm-hmm. myself.
Yeah.
And just to see, because there are days where, even, coming out of COVID, after having had it, breathing was a thing for a short bit. And the same thing with just getting, your heart rate worked up. And for anybody who might be a little bit older and really just kind of need to monitor that, this could be something that you can kind of get snapshots of somebody.
Right.
And if you, come back every couple of weeks or so to kind of see where they're at and see if there's improvements. So there's a lot of use cases for something like this.
Definitely.
Now, is that 2 straps that it comes with?
Yeah, so it comes with the red and it comes with the black. Mm-hmm. And they're, fully adjustable to whatever size you need it to be. Mm-hmm. And then it's just a really easy it's got a loop at the end that just, you can just put this hook into.
And position it.
Yep, position it wherever you want. And I imagine the app will help you, give you best case scenario of, do you want it center mass or mm-hmm. side or, is it work on the back? Those are things that I'm sure they tell you when you're setting it up.
So this guy is not exactly cheap.
It isn't. And that's kind of the trend we've seen with a lot of health and wellness devices, mm-hmm. Smart electronics, I guess.
This guy comes in at $499.
Yeah,
it's a commit.
Yeah, it's not something. It's not something that you're, if you are a weekend warrior kind of person, or if you're a person that's, just getting into running or just getting into cross training, you probably don't need this. Mm-hmm. This is for the people that are, peak athletes that want to really hone in on that information. it's good to have that information at whatever step you are in exercise, but it's not I wouldn't say it's a must buy.
Sure.
It's definitely going to give you useful information no matter where you are in your fitness.
I have a few specs on here, and I do see battery life too.
Oh, cool.
So up to 24 hours of continuous usage.
Okay.
Or 12 to 15 days of usage under typical.
All right.
And then that will charge
Good battery life.
Completely in 45 minutes.
Wow.
This guy the metrics for cardiac will have heart rate, cardiac rhythm, cardiac strain, and heart rate variability.
Yep.
And under performance, it'll track breathing rate, training load, body shock, and step cadence.
Oh, cool.
So you can also see if there's something to running slower, and does that do something to your heart rate and your breathing, and track all that information.
Yeah.
Water resistant up to 1.5 meters.
Okay.
And this will pair to Bluetooth for iOS and Android, and also the Apple Watch. And then it'll display your heart rate on compatible Bluetooth watches, sports watches.
Okay.
So as you said in the box, you get the Frontier X.
Yep.
And you also have the elastic chest straps, 2 of those, micro USB cable, and 2 micro USB rubber covers.
Yeah, so those are in here. They're just covers that go over the charging port. Just to keep it secure if you are going to be, in the rain, running in the rain or something like that.
Yeah. So I will play with this guy.
Yeah.
And see how things go and find out how good or bad condition I'm in.
Right.
But I think it will be definitely interesting to have that information.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's the Frontier X, and the company is Fourth Frontier, and you can learn more about them at fourthfrontier.com.
Sweet. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.